we was excited. He was like, first episode. I was like,
Ah, number one.
this is dope.
This is dope. All right. Seconds are moving. And let's get into this. So, this is the first episode of my podcast, and got a few things prepared, like mild topics.
Yeah.
Yes, number one. Number one.
It's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So the title is Questions of Man. And it's kind of like in contemplation of like the very basic questions that I don't think any human being escapes. And so we might as well start there because people got to talk about it.
Can't get away from it, huh? They're the very basics. So what is it?
Alrighty. So first up is just kind of suffering. So I know we talked about this a little bit earlier today. Just that it's kind of, no matter who you are or what you are, it's in the story of humanity is suffering, you know? And it's basically unavoidable and not necessarily the most enjoyable thing, you know? So like we wonder why it's there.
You know, one of the best examples I ever heard of this was the child and the bicycle, right? When you're teaching a child how to ride a bicycle for the first time, they go from training wheels to, taking the training wheels off and riding without them. And you kind of want to hold on to them like if you're a parent, right? And you don't want your kid to fall, but as they end up, learning how to ride a bike, that it's inevitable that they might, fall or scratch their knee or something like this. So this is a simple, small representation of suffering, and that it's not something to be so afraid of. It's a mechanism in which allows growth to be,
and ownership of that
impact.
growth.
Yeah,
like
it's very
the
personal.
child needs to suffer in order to know that he can ride the bike on his own.
It's almost like, suffering can also be exchanged for struggle, a challenge. It's a very universal thing.
Yeah, I feel like suffering can show you went through something, persevered, you grew. So yeah, I do believe, and to teach like riding a bike, it teaches you learn something at the end of it.
Exactly.
And you gain, like riding a bike, it's an important skill.
Exactly.
It's an important skill.
Yeah. It's an enjoyable one too.
So I say suffering is an important skill that a person must learn to do.
How to deal with,
deal.
move through, elegantly and smoothly, because something you can't really escape in that it's a human thing too, but it's also, it's based on how existence kind of works and the polarity of it all, the yin and the yang, the good days and kind of the hard days. So it creates contrast and it creates a meaningful experience somehow.
Yeah, a richness.
Yeah, richness is kind of
that contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has a teachable moment with every suffering experience that you have. It's a teachable moment in place for you to just learn something not to encounter as much suffering as before.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do we got next here?
Oh, so yeah. I in thinking about it, I feel like it's like our base form of communication. Like there's like an intrinsic understanding when you've had like suffering and like been able to like change that and transmute that, and you're able to like speak to people in different ways and in like more empowered ways from different perspectives of it. And it's a very base thing because like basically you can talk about it with anybody. Like
about,
if you've been through some shit,
okay,
everyone has, you know, and so like that's
Right.
like that first primal language.
And it's nice being around people you feel open enough with to really express yourself in that way, and maybe, you know, share, you know, different things, because it is important. I guess that's what you're saying too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really kind of like it's therapeutic in some way. Yeah.
As far as suffering, I would say in that way, like you said, with communication, it could be like a rope, maybe. It ties everything together, ties everybody together.
Yeah.
Literally brings everybody together, or some people can let go of the rope and let go of the pressure, but then you don't keep moving.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah. Like suffering could be like thought of as like the fabrics of each plane, you know. And so like there's always like some tension getting through, and then there's this this breath when you finally like gotten your feet on that level or whatnot, you know. And so like what I was thinking when you're saying you can let go or not, I was thinking if you let go, you'll end up in a very similar metaphor, learning very similar things, only enjoying it a little bit more. You know, and so like there's that next level of transition.
Yeah, and I would just add really quickly, because the Buddhist, like a whole, there was a lot going on with Buddhist philosophy and thought revolving around suffering. You know, but it was very like misunderstood. You know, in Western, some Western like intellectual minds tried to understand what they really meant. You know, they kind of got a little judgmental in the fact that it wasn't so pessimistic in what they were talking about, and like, oh, you have to, like, life is difficult and all, you're gonna go through all this, but it was more in showcasing that being here and where we are, you know, incarnated, you know, in this place at this time, it's a, you know, process that we're going through, and in this process it's going to be some difficulties, but that's just the nature of where we are. And so they're saying that if you just know that that's where you are, then you can relax into it and know that maybe sometimes things that you try so much to make something happen and it doesn't work out, hey, it's okay, you know, and just keep on moving, you know. That's just the way to go. Keep on flowing.
Yeah.
Oh. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing that it's picking up my voice very well,
But not.
and also it's facing me. I think it could be like a directional thing. So let's actually see. Sorry, viewers. All our millions of potential viewers. All right, now speak.
Hello.
Figuring it out.
Oh yeah. Much higher levels.
Hello.
Much higher levels. Perfect.
All right,
Perfect.
cool.
All right,
Well,
we're
we
learning.
We're getting
You're
it
going
together.
to
Welcome
start
to
out.
episode 1.
This is episode 1.
Number 1. All right, cool.
Nice.
So, anything else?
I'm good on that subject for now. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about, like, in that sense, like when you have suffering in like a self-application, like scenario in life, it creates this opportunity for leveling up. When like when you have like this belief and then hardship comes because you believe this belief when things are perfectly fine, it's to realize whether or not you hold true to your values. You know, it's a really good check and balance to like to see.
So you're saying like the effect that the suffering, like the what you gain from it in some way.
Yes. The level of intensity is like an opportunity to level up. Because
so you're growing from it.
Growing very much so, because like when things go awry, that's when you know your worth.
You dig
know?
deep.
Yeah.
You dig deep.
Yeah, you know, everyone's a nice guy when things are going pretty.
But then sometimes people end up judging others when they're going through stuff and they don't see stuff that they like in those people, and they're like, hop to conclusions. I've done that before.
Yeah.
But it's that person just going through, one of their difficult times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I agree with that growth,
Yeah.
It's definitely it's a mechanism which causes like an entity to look somewhere new, that somewhere deep, somewhere meaningful, somewhere new, to keep moving, Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same, I feel like as far as it can connect you and help you feel deep in different things, but it can also help you go into in isolation to become more one with yourself too.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah, and then like that's the thing that I believe that a lot of like hospitals got wrong, is that like these depressive states, these isolative states, it's treated like it's a problem, And what I have found during my isolative stage is it's way easier to change when there's no one around, because there's no one subjecting you to their perception and their expectation of how you're going to be. Yeah. And so then you're either going to allow yourself to change or make somebody happy. Whereas if you're isolated, that change is what makes you happy.
What's amazing is how the universe isolates you.
Yeah. And so
you don't want to be isolated.
You can either go for it, or you can have it go for you.
I don't even want to be isolated, but the universe puts these certain plans into motion, for your highest, growth and awakening, for sure. I know about this too, personally. I'm sure everybody does, but it definitely isolates you. And in that isolation, you find out, who you are, you dig deep, you find, different mechanisms to try to, bring yourself out. And in that, you grow and become something new. So it's very nice.
Yeah, I would definitely say yes. Within isolation, you definitely find something you never knew was there, because you're always focused on, like you said, everybody else, everything else, everyone else dimension or what they have going on in their circle, versus isolation. It's just you. It's just what you have going on with yourself, and really understanding your suffering, and understanding what you're going through mentally and physically and in any way possible. And that can depict many things. And also, some people may grow obviously with more connection with people, and some it'll help them grow in isolation. So, and like you say, I think the universe will pick.
Well, also,
which one to do.
I would say that every soul does both, and like just as the universe always balances itself, I'm sure that a lot of growth can come with like that connection, because like then you find out how you can help other people and how better you can communicate that. And then also sometimes that yearning to help and that ability to help and all that energy putting towards helping others can be very taxing on you, and so then you can, it's a
yin and a yang. It's vice versa.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, the better you learn yourself, the better you can help other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
That's a big. I definitely agree with that. Because then you can say something different. You can say something new. Like when you have that time, and you're going through something. And then next time you're around people, then you're like, you have something like, wait a minute, you're like, who is this person? Because they have so much, they've had to find something within themselves to keep going. And then by finding that, they're like, turn into like a superwoman or a superman, So it's incredible.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Take care.
Amen.
Dans notre quotidien, ces secrets